everyone, how's it going? So in today's video, we're going to be checking out Joji's new album, and I'm pretty excited for this album. I wouldn't call myself like a huge fan of Joji. I definitely know a good amount of his songs. There's definitely a few songs on Ballads 1 that I love. There's a few songs on Nectar that I liked. But I definitely don't know everything about Joji, so if I mess something up or if I get something wrong, just throwing that out there, you know. But I've been so excited for this project, mainly because I think we've all heard his most recent like popular song, you know, Glimpse of Us. And honestly for me, like I really didn't listen to that song like at all when it first came out. I don't know, for a while I just kind of stopped listening to like sad music. I kind of tried to stay away from that. But then like I finally got to a point where like I can listen to the song without having it like tear me to shreds, you know? And when I first listened to it, I could not believe how good Joji sounded. Like his vocals have improved so much. And I already knew he could sing, you know, like I said, I'm a big fan of songs off Ballads 1 and Nectar, so I know he can sing. But especially in some of the verses on Glimpse for Us, that's like the best I've ever heard him sound, you know. So I'm really excited to see what he brings to these new songs and, you know, on this new album. Now it is a pretty short album, it's really only 9 songs. I'm pretty positive, like I was aware when, I think it's called Yukon Interlude. I might be saying that wrong. But when that first came out, I think that was like the second single for this album. I'm pretty sure I skimmed through it, but I really don't think I sat down and actually listened to it. So I'm probably still gonna listen to that song just to give it like a full chance, you know. But yeah, the only song I've heard, you know, 100% was Glimpse for Us, so everything else is new. And really just going off the title Smithereens and, you know, the cover art, I really don't know what to expect at all. So I'm just going into this completely just with an open mindset. And this is Joji's brand new album titled Smithereens. Here we go. So it looks like there's like 2 parts to this album, really. Like there's 2 discs, if that makes sense. So disc 1 has 5 tracks, and disc 2 has 4 tracks. So that could be kind of like a clue for like, you know, different sounds throughout the album. You know, maybe one side is different from the other. Okay, so like I mentioned, track 1, Glimpse of Us, you already heard. Amazing track. I got on it so late, but when I got on it, man, that was one of the best tracks I've heard in a while. Like his vocals were just phenomenal. Like I can't talk about that enough. Okay, so that being said, we're going to go right into track 2 then, which is titled Feeling Like the End. It's a bit on the shorter side. It's only 1:42. This is track 2, Feeling Like the End. Here we go.
Too many things we did together. You used to promise me it would be forever. Feeling like the end, don't think it will get better, baby. Better, baby. Please calm down so we can get up. I've waited too long to get your voice out of my head. Out of my head. Too many things we did together. You used to promise me it would be forever. Feeling like the end, don't think it will get better, baby.
I mean, this song is about to end in like 30 seconds, so it's definitely on the shorter side. So I definitely think this song could have been extended, because as soon as that beat drops and then like Joji's like main voice, or his I guess his regular voice, like, because you know in the beginning it's like a bunch of high falsettos, you know. When the beat comes in and he starts singing like his lead vocal, like I really enjoyed that part, and I could go for like another verse. So I'm not really too sure why it's so short, but nonetheless it still sounds great. Yeah. Okay, so that was track 2, Feeling Like the End. And as I mentioned, it was a good song. It's just I don't really understand why it was so short. Whenever Joji blends like his falsetto vocals, like that kind of reminded me of like, you know, Sanctuary, to where it's just a bunch of high-pitched, you know, Joji vocals just blended in with each other, and it just creates like this nice like harmony, I guess, in a way. This one, it wasn't as like great in my opinion as like Sanctuary, like how Sanctuary sounds, because that chorus is just like so beautiful and amazing. But it was still pretty good. I just think like I mentioned, I wish it was a little bit longer. Yeah. Okay, so track 3 is titled Die For You, and I'm pretty excited for this song. Like from what I've heard from people, this is like almost like everybody's favorite song from the album, or like one of their favorite songs. Like people really enjoy this song. So this is track 3, Die For You. Here we go. This already sounds like so majestic. What the hell?
No point turning off the lights. Not the same without your head on my shoulders. Growing pains, but I don't wanna get older. Didn't know that the party was over. And it's true that I need you here closer. Burning photos. How to learn to let go. I heard that you're happy without me, and now it's true.
Oh my gosh. Everything about this song so far is just so good. Like, I don't know if he just like mixed it like really well, but like the instrumental just sounds amazing. Like, I don't even know how like to describe it really. And so far these vocals just sound great. Like I said in Glimpse of Us, I had a feeling they were gonna sound really good on this record. But this is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of like his vocals got better. Like, he sounds like really good so far. Oh my god, come on.
Found the puzzle piece and feel completed. Just wanted you to know every reason. Hope you really know that I mean. Only time we speak is in my dreams. Somebody in another skin.
Like, another thing about Joji, and I'm hearing it in this song, like, it sounds like he can like sing like these vocals, or he just creates like these vocals, like just the way he sings, it's just so like effortlessly, you know, like he just does it like without even trying, it seems like. Like, I'm not like some big like music engineer or anything like that, so like I'm probably wrong, but like sometimes it's really like easy to tell if like someone's using like auto-tune or pitch correction, but like I feel like with Joji, I feel like he doesn't use much of that. I feel like this is just like, for the majority, it's just his raw vocals, you know. Okay, so that was track 3, Die For You. And yeah, I can definitely see why that's a lot of people's favorite song for sure. Like, vocal-wise, like how good his vocals sounded, it's up there with Glimpse of Us. Like, I was getting like the exact same feeling that I did when I first heard Glimpse of Us. And like, production-wise, just the amount of layers like in this instrumental, it just made it sound so good. I'm a little bit nervous, so I'm hoping that's like not the best song on this album, and like it kind of like, I guess that's like the peak, you know what I mean? Especially with this album being so short, I still hope there's a good amount of songs, you know? Alright, so track 4 is titled Before the Day Is Over. Here we go.
I don't know what you wanna hear. Things changing course, smiles fade to grin. Now the moment's gone, just as I feared.
Is that Joji?
No longer
There's no way that's Joji, right?
we were feeling blue. I know it won't be long. I know you're almost gone. Hold on, let me in before the day is over.
I mean, you hear it a lot in his music, but just the way he like stacks up those vocals on top of each other, and like I talked about this a little bit, but with this one and this chorus, obviously the vocals are not as high, you know, the pitch isn't as high. It's actually really cool just hearing like a stack or just a bunch of layers of just his like main voice, I guess, if that makes sense. No, yeah, that chorus was actually pretty good.
There's nothing left to do when we start to stall, and I was hoping that we could hold it. Hold on, let me in before the day is over. Just let me in before the day is over.
This little breakdown at the end. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was track 4, Before the Day Is Over. And this is exactly why I was saying track 2, feeling like the end should have been a little bit longer. I feel like track 2 could have easily sounded just like this, where, you know, the sound gets bigger over time, and then at the end there's like a build-up or a big breakdown. I mean, this song, it wasn't as good as Die For You, but still, just because of all the elements and the layers he was adding to it, it just made it like a complete song, you know? I guess what I'm trying to say is like track 2 like felt like pretty empty, like, or like it was missing something, and you compare it to this track, which is just full from, you know, start to finish. But yeah, overall the vocals, just like in Glimpse of Us, this song was really good with the vocals. And then production wise, also just like in Die For You, the production was good. Pretty solid track. Alright, so the next track is track 5, titled Dissolve. Here we go.
It's so hard just being me sometimes. I wish I could escape out my mind. Got too many situations, complicating things. I run out of time. I know I haven't turned the corner. Please don't leave me behind.
His acoustic guitar right now is so good.
Who have we become? Are we counting sheep until we dissolve? It's so close that I can taste it, begging you to chase it. God knows I tried.
Okay, so far the instrumental is great, because I'm going to be honest, like, I really didn't know if like an acoustic guitar would show up at all on this project. I really don't think he uses that much acoustic guitar. And so far it sounds great. I mean, maybe on like the second verse, like this verse right now, like maybe like a beat could have been added, you know, as soon as the, I guess, verse 2 starts or when he ends like the first line. But overall, I hope this song just keeps like getting bigger in sound, because the bigger it gets, the better it's going to get, basically. Okay.
Who have we become? Are we counting sheep until we dissolve?
Okay, so that was track 5, Dissolve. And definitely, you know, production-wise, one of the better songs for sure. Like, even though it gets a bit repetitive, it's okay, because like every time, I guess, like the chorus would come back in or like a new verse would come back in, you could hear like a different instrument in the background. So the song was just, I guess, expanding over the course of the song, if that makes sense. And then eventually you get to the point where it's like you're just hearing a bunch of vocals, a bunch of guitar. There was some crazy instruments in the background. I don't remember what they were or know what they were, but I just had a feeling it was going to be one of those songs where as long as they keep adding new stuff every time, you know, I guess the song keeps repeating itself, like it's going to get better, you know. But yeah, so far from like the newer songs, Die For You, Before the Day Is Over, and Dissolve are really good so far. Okay, so with that being said, we're now getting to the second disc of this project. And I'm kind of expecting maybe like a different kind of sound, or, you know, there has to be a reason why, you know, these songs are separate, I guess. So we only have about 4 more songs left, so this is track 6, Night Rider. Here we go.
Crazy in the dome, baby, can I get a heads up? Go, they try to break us. Go, they try to break us. Wanna get away? Would you tell me your location? Feels like yesterday. I remember I would stay up. Forever and ever, fully blazing. I don't remember no better days. You know I'm waiting just whenever, just whatever.
Okay, so that was track 6, Night Rider. And I'm actually kind of surprised that I like that song because like obviously like in the first 20 seconds you hear like this lo-fi beat of kind of opening up the song. And I don't mind that style of music when it comes to Joji, but I definitely prefer like the ballads that he creates, if that makes sense. Like a lot of songs with the pianos and just like the layers of strings, you know, just like the really like majestic, you know, pretty sounding songs, I guess. So at first I thought the song was just gonna be like that beat the whole time, but then like a piano came in for like the chorus, I think, and his vocals sounded really good. I will say though, kind of similar to track 2 though, it's another song where since it's like kind of short, it kind of makes you feel like there's something missing or a little bit empty, you know. But I mean, not a bad track, yeah. Okay, so track 7 is titled Blah 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 Demo. Here we go.
I can make you feel closer, baby, one more time. I can really feel you closing when I stayed outside. Something tells me we were chosen, so we keep on trying. She said I'm down, surrounded by strangers. When I hear your voice, I'm in too deep, feeling undone.
At first I wasn't really too sure about how I was feeling about the song, but I mean the instrumental's nice. But as soon as that chorus came in, I'm definitely liking the chorus.
Closer, baby, one more time.
Whoa. Okay, so that was track 7, Blah 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 Demo. So I actually did kind of enjoy that song. I will say I don't really know how I feel about like the beat switch up, like going into verse 2. Like I feel like I usually like beat switch ups, but I don't know, I feel like it was like kind of too different. Like it made the song like sound completely different from like when it started. I kind of would prefer if it like stayed the same or it didn't change that much. But then he started doing like these vocal runs. I think like when he started repeating like the silhouette part, as soon as he started doing that, I was like, that is so catchy. I mean, not a bad song, but it's definitely kind of probably like in the middle of the pack for like favorite songs. Okay, so track 8 is titled Yukon Interlude. I hope I said that right. As I mentioned, I kind of skimmed through this song when it came out, so like I probably remember it a little bit. Like I definitely like heard like the teaser, like when Joji was teasing it, you know. I'm pretty sure I didn't like sit down and listen to the whole song fully. I probably like skimmed through it. So this is track 8, Yukon Interlude. Here we go.
Yeah, my eyes get low in that all-white truck. I can barely see shit. And I overflow like mercury, glowing with uncertainty. Circles at the chevron. I might be forever gone.
Yeah, this song definitely kind of reminds you of Give Me Love. Mainly with just like the rhythm and kind of how fast paced it's getting. Because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it would pick up like that. I thought it would just be like how you've been hearing it, like just that piano, like chord progression, and out of nowhere, just this fast paced rhythm comes in. So yeah, I like it so far though.
In a time so slow, I was thinking about us rearranging pieces, speeding up on that all-black demon, going west. I don't got no reason, so perfectly. Circles at the
That's good.
I could be forever young.
Oh wow. Okay, so that was track 8, Yukon Interlude. Yeah, I definitely see why he released that as like a single. Because as soon as that beat comes in and the rhythm picks up, it gets really catchy. I will say though, like maybe it sounds weird, but like the last 5 seconds of the song, you hear like, I don't know if those are strings or like just a synth. But I remember hearing that like in the like when he was teasing the song on Instagram, and I just remember like thinking it sounded so good, and I was kind of hoping that like that part was like extended more. Or maybe it was just kind of maybe he could turn it into like a bridge or something. Like I said, I don't know if that's a synth or strings, but I really enjoyed that part for sure. It doesn't like knock down the song at all. It's still a great song, but I do wish that part was a little bit longer. Okay, so we are actually at the final song. I expected this album to go by pretty quick. I mean, a lot of the songs are pretty short. I mean, 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2 minutes and stuff like that. And this outro is about 1 minute and 53 seconds, so another short one. This is the final track on Joji's new album, Smithereens. Track 9. 1 a.m. freestyle. Here we go.
You know you can make it, you can't make it alone. You can't make it alone. I've been writing letters on the wall.
Oh, wow. Just like Sanctuary, what I say. Okay, so that was track 9, 1 a.m. freestyle. Just another one of those songs where it's like as soon as that beat comes in, I don't know if like Joji has also improved at like his production, but the production on this project is really good as well. And then like the last like 20 seconds, 30 seconds of the song, you just hear just a bunch of Joji, vocals combined together, and it gives like that choir effect, and that sounded really good. I will say once again, a little bit on the shorter side, especially for like the outro, maybe it could have been a little bit longer, a little bit more expanded. But for what it is, it's a great song. Alright, so that was Smithereens by Joji. And I have to say, it was a pretty good project. As expected, the vocals were just top tier from start to finish. There was at least like one moment in each song where Joji sang higher than usual, or he had like a bunch of voices combined together to just create like this choir effect. And as I mentioned from, Glimpse of Us, I was kind of expecting that, as it just seems like his vocals are just improving and, improving. And then the production, there were some songs where just like the texture, if that makes sense, just like the layers, like it sounded so good. Like if you're like me and you're really into that, like you really like hearing every single instrument and just like the texture and just like how full the sound can get, like this was a pretty good album for you, like straight up. I think the only thing that I wish was different about it, and I've already mentioned it throughout the project, was that some of the songs did feel pretty incomplete, like especially for a lot of the shorter ones, like 2 minutes, under 2 minutes. I feel like there definitely could have been a bridge or a breakdown at the end to kind of expand it a little bit. Because like there's nothing wrong with having like a 9-song long album, even though it might not be a lot of songs, but it's still okay. But I still feel like your project should kind of like tell a story in a way. It should still feel very cohesive, And I don't know, I just feel like 9 songs isn't long enough to kind of like get your point across, or if there's like a theme, or like a story amongst his project. I feel like he needed like 3 or 4 more songs, or just the shorter songs maybe a little bit longer. Because like when it comes to like the complete songs, like when you're talking about Die For You and Before the Day Is Over, Dissolve, Glimpse of Us, which are all songs that are kind of on the first, disc. Like I'm not saying like the other songs weren't real, or like they weren't like, I guess like listenable, I guess. But when it comes to like replay value and just songs I'm gonna go back to more often, I definitely feel like I'm gonna go, back to the songs on the first disc more than the second disc. But yeah, I feel like if you can just like accept that this album, it's not the longest in the world, but the songs still hold like, plenty of value, like, most of them, you're gonna enjoy this project. Like Joji's production and his vocals, those are always, I guess high points for me when it came to his music. But I feel like in some of these songs, they're like the strongest like I've ever heard, like his production and ever heard his vocals, Like I think it was Die For You, like the very first 5 seconds, and I heard that instrumental, I think it was Die For You. I was just amazed, and maybe it was Before the Day Ends, but either way, I was just amazed at how, like, this sounded like some, like, movie soundtrack kind of stuff, Or, I don't know, just something I should, like, pay to see, like, live, and, I don't know, just, I feel like I shouldn't even be, like, listening to this. But overall, a pretty solid project. It's definitely going to take me a few more listens to kind of get used to some of the songs. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this project. I did have, like, a slim hope that Love Us Again was going to be on this album, but just under, like, a different title, but I don't think that song is ever coming out. So with that being said, that's all I pretty much have to say about this project. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning into the videos, liking the videos, commenting on the videos. I appreciate all the support I get. I hope everyone's staying safe out there and taking care of themselves. Take care.